Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime series with Kevin, where we add value to people's lives, happening every day at 12 on ebizradio.com. Today, on the Lunchtime coaching segment, we have a very interesting lady, a speaker, a strategic business coach, better known as Just Ask Linda. Linda Dent is joining us. Linda, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Absolute pleasure. I know we've been meaning to have this for a while now. I think the last couple of months we were going to do this, but finally you're here and ready to tell us more about you and what you do and how you do it. Please give us an intro. Give us a bit about Linda. I mean, that Just Ask Linda. I remember when we first spoke about it, there was an interesting story that you had to share. So please tell everyone. It'd be interesting.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks very much. Yes, Just Ask Linda, business coaching. I started the business just over 2 years ago. After spending like a third of a century in banking.
Yeah.
Crazy. 33, 34 years.
Wow.
That is my background in banking, and I spent many a year as a corporate banker, but also in operations, planning, marketing, team building, strategy, all sorts of aspects. And one day I felt it was time for change. It was time for that new career. And I don't think I'm alone here. I've met so many entrepreneurs in the last 2 years that tell me exactly the same story. Time to get out of the corporate way of life, time to make a difference, time to do something really, really worthwhile that speaks to your own values. And so that happened to me. Long story for another day. But the aim, once I decided to make the change, the idea was business coaching made a lot of sense to me in the sense that, you know, it took everything that I'd learned of all the different aspects of business, and particularly the financial aspects, put them together with tools like templates, strategic planning, financial planning, that sort of thing. To be able to put those together, but then add my little secret sauce of the Just Ask Linda brand. And that comes from, in fact, throughout my life, but the particular story I think I shared with you, Kevin, was that, you know, I was there working in the bank. I had a team of people reporting to me. I was that person who kept all the records. You know, before computers, I was the one with
Yes.
the very well structured files, all neat and up to date and in order. But I also, with computers, I kept all the folders in my email inbox, all of that perfectly. The reason I did, because, you know, gaining knowledge and increasing and growing as a person through doing that, you know, creating that input into my system is what I do really well. One of the things I do really well. And so this would happen, you know, someone 5 desks down would be saying, does anybody know what happened with that particular client back in 2005?
Yeah.
And of course, that person was just sort of going, really, no, I have no clue. But just ask Linda, because she'll know the answer. You know, and invariably I did. So even if I had to go looking for it, I found it and I could help them out with their problem. So when it came to the brand for my business, it just had a lovely play on the words and my name, just to go, Just Ask Linda.
I love that. Yes. And it's stuck, right? It's been part of the story for a while now.
Yes.
So, Linda, we you know, wanting to add value, we're already in February. You know, it's already you know, good into
nearly March.
Right. Like we're kind of going, where did this like this year go already? Like, but you know, we still find out that part of what we want to do is really step it up in our business as entrepreneurs, as business owners. And that's really the aim of the show is, you know, what are people thinking and how do we amp that up in the world today? So don't you want to give us an idea of what are we talking about today? Because You have a concept that you're going to share today, and I think people are going to take away and go, yes, I want to talk to Linda. So, share that with us and tell us why that's important.
Right. So it's a structured program that I offer, a coaching program, but that's just what it is. It's not the why. It's not the why of it. And I think your question just made me consider what are the issues that small business owners are facing, because I'm talking primarily about the small business owner out there, of which there are hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah.
I have many conversations, even if it doesn't lead to a program with myself, but I have many of these conversations, and it seems like the same issues arise. The one is, I have a business. I've either got this business because I was retrenched, particularly last year, or I have this business because it's all I know. It's what I do. Maybe I'm an electrician or a plumber or financial planner, or or I've got this business and I want to make lots and lots and lots of money. So I see all three. I see those three types of business owner all the time. And it's very interesting to have these conversations because they're completely different from one another. So that last one, for example, I had one conversation where I said to the guy, so what is your big goal? You may have heard of Jim Collins's big, hairy, audacious goal. I think a lot of people have. What is that big vision? Where do you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years time? And his answer to me was, I want to be known as the $90 million man. So I thought, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
The $90 million man. So I said, okay, and where are you now? No, I'm earning maybe 20, 30,000 rands a month, not dollars.
Yeah.
So through a process of questioning, and this is something that you can expect if you're ever going to work with me, is this questioning to say, well, there's the goal, but describe it in more detail for me, because that's just a little too vague, this $90 million man. What does that mean to you? What are you doing? How many countries are you operating in? How many clients do you have? How many transactions are you doing? How big is your team? What are the results? How much free time do you have? Dream it.
Yeah.
If you don't dream it, you will soon get stuck in a place that is nowhere near that. And that place is not far from where you are right now. And taking the guy who says, I've been doing the same thing, is in a trade, and he's been doing it for 12 years. The issue there is often not, reputationally, they've got a very strong business. They've got clients, repeat clients, but financially, they've had no training. They've had no guidance in how to manage their finances. So the only concern they have is how much tax I have to pay, or can I avoid paying tax if at all possible. Now, I'm no accountant, so I don't judge.
Yeah.
But what I try to work through with that person is, but again, what is that goal? Do you just want to have more time with your family? Do you want to grow this business, double it in size? Do you want franchise operations all over the place? Now, this is based on an actual client. He said, no, I just want to be able to sort of ride my horse on the weekend, not have to worry about money, spend some time with family. I don't want the team to be too big. I'd just like it to be something I can control. So you see, completely different business owner to the previous one that I've just described.
Yeah.
But yet exactly the same process. So you want to be there, you want to be in this comfortable, easy position with time on your hands and no worries about money. So where are you now? No debt. I have credit card debt. I have no clue actually what revenue comes in every month. It comes in, and when it's there, I take it out. So there, it's just to get back to basics, sit down, Let's find out where you're spending money. Let's find out where it's coming from. And one of the things I do really, Kevin, I don't want to say dumb it down, but I simplify the complex things for the person who it's complex for. So numbers are not complex for me. They're dead easy. Excel spreadsheets, calculating things in my head, no worries. But another person has a strength. Don't ask me to fix your electrics. I have absolutely no clue how to do that.
Yeah.
So there are these different business characters, and sometimes they have the different problem, but the commonality is that they're just not too sure how to get where they want to go. And that's where a business coach or a mentor or a guide of some kind can come in and help them to hold a mirror up to their business and then look from the other side and say, what exactly is happening here, and what can we change? What's in our control?
Yeah, as you're talking, part of my brain is always having a conversation similarly, but for me it's more on a personal behavioral perspective, and it's what are you willing to do, or who are you willing to become to implement the changes that you want, right?
Right.
Because people just generally kind of go, well, I have this goal and I want to do it. It's like, yeah, you're allowed to have that goal, but who do you need to become to achieve that goal? So, and that requires the work, right? That's the biggie. And when you go, okay, so differentiate that and sort of like really define it so that you really understand what it takes to be that person. Then you go, oh, okay, that's a whole additional conversation, because dreaming it is the easy part. It's the application that really gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
Please carry on. Yes.
I know. I'm thinking that's definitely the issue. So one thing I'm acutely aware of is that not everyone is me. And you, Kevin, would know that not everyone is the same as you.
Yeah.
Each have our unique strengths. We each have our unique histories. And we know we love doing something and we don't really like doing something else. And when that's the opposite of you, when it's the same as you, that's when you get into strategic partnerships and you're going, yeah, we both think the same. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. And you're both going in the same direction.
Yeah.
But when it's the opposite or something very different, and for I'm that structured planner. Like if we're going to go on holiday, if I'm going to go on holiday and you're going to go on holiday, I'm pretty certain we're going to do it differently. First of all, we're going to have a different destination in mind. I want to go to the mountains. Maybe you want to go to the beach. I want to go and chill and relax with a glass of red wine and maybe go on some walks. You maybe want to just spend lots of time with lots of people, trying out new things, going new places, biking everywhere. And this is I'm just using an example. I've got no idea, Kevin, if this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's different. And yet we might be going to the same town, but we want to do different things. And we want to spend different money. You've got a lot of money. I've only got a little bit. So we have to plan how to do that. Now, I just said I have to plan. So I have to plan. I have to go, this is how much budget I've got. This is how much time I've got. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. This is a place I'd like to go to. And I book it all ahead of time. You may be completely opposite and go, you know what? Let's just put some shorts and T-shirts in a bag and let's just go.
That's not what I usually do. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's just go. So I get it. If you're structured and focused and you can plan like me, and you just you probably can do it, by yourself. Yeah. If you're spontaneous and passionate and it's all about just connecting and including other people and getting on with it, then it might be more difficult for you to sit down and focus on filling the planning and the actions part. But either way, both of us, it makes sense for either of us to partner with someone who's not like us.
Yeah.
even though it might be difficult initially, in the long run, it's a much bigger result. You know, you get
learning from each other. Yeah.
So
you have this wonderful philosophy, and that's I'm like so eager for you to share this. Don't you want to tell us about this philosophy? How did you come about this, and what it is, and why have it?
Right. That's 3 questions I think I can answer very well. So, this is my philosophy. This is my GLEE jar, as you can see on the screen.
Yeah, just like the movie GLEE, yes.
yeah. It's kind of not exactly, but
similar.
You know the story. So this is GLEE, and it's an acronym. It stands for Grow, Learn, Empower, and Enjoy. And in this GLEE jar, I've got lots of colored pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Lots of different colors. And each time something gleeful happens, one of those 4 elements, then I take a little piece of paper, I write the date, and I just put something. So today, for example, I might go, yay, interviewed by Kevin Britz on eBiz Radio. What a pleasure. Put the date on, stick it in my GLEE jar. And the purpose behind it is it's a way that I have to record those special moments. And they're not only business related. It could be, you know, had a great holiday, or my birthday was awesome, or something, you know, got a box of chocolates. So I do put things in that just belong to the life. But that GLEE philosophy is more than that. It's also my plan. It's at the beginning of the year, I literally sit down and say, what do I want to achieve this year in those 4 categories? So how do I want to grow? And for example, it might be being interviewed. Never been interviewed, you know, 1 year ago. It seems like something I'd like to do. Am I nervous? Is it something that I can do? Does anybody care? You know, and you ask yourself these questions. So it might be a goal I set myself to do it, because by doing it, I grow.
Yeah.
Consequently, I also learn, but learning is more than that. It's the reading, the research, the taking elements of my client's business and learning more about that as well. So every client I have is such a variety. I just love to learn more about them and what they do and their competitors, etc. Now, the other 2 E's, I'm actually concentrating on the E's this year, because empowering others has often actually been quite difficult for me to do. And so but of course, as a coach, that's exactly what I tell people I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have that sort of selfish inner drive, and you're doing it for you. And that's true of me. I'm going to be honest on camera. that sometimes I do things for me, for my benefit, and not necessarily for yours. So the Empower banner, you know, I'm taking more interest in people this year, really trying to listen. So I've got a new mantra. It's just listen, Linda. And I'm sure you've all seen that little that viral video of the little boy talking back. Listen, Linda. You know, so that's so I just remind myself to listen, Linda.
Just play in the background.
Yeah, and that kind of rolls into the second E, which is to enjoy myself and have some fun. So a lot of that was about me, but actually I've turned it around into a message for everybody else out there is, do you want to live a gleeful life as well? The answer may be no. Do you want to be a gleeful business owner? Because I am. Do you want to know how to do that? Because I can show you some ways that you might be able to do that. And therefore, that's the whole take now. So it's very meaningful for me personally and in my own planning, but I want to share that in any way I can, which is why you see it in most of my LinkedIn and pictures.
I listen to this and I think, well, am I running a gleeful business? And I'm going, yeah, I'm doing all of those. And those are like really fitting the slotting right in there. And I love that. I think, not only as a person, but as a business owner, that is sort of always the inevitable aim is you want to grow. But very, very, well, often I find that people forget to grow themselves, so they're so focused outside and from an extrinsically point of reference that they forget that the intrinsic self needs time too, and needs attention, from learning a new skill to, or growing into a better version of yourself than you have been in the last 5 years. Having that, and the fact that you recognize that within your own business, and also sharing this and showcasing that, like, I think it speaks a lot to how you are empowering and giving back to people that you work with. So I love this.
Thank
The
you.
growing, the learning, the empowering. I think it's a fantastic way to look at it, and especially when you have a jar. I think that's probably the one thing I haven't got, is I can start adding my jar to everything you're talking about. But it's a beautiful concept. So I think it's a good philosophy, and everyone should really. And I'm even thinking that not even if you're a business owner, if you're just a human on the planet, kind of going, how can I live a bit of a gleeful life?
Yeah, it is. It's that positivity. It's it's just that always a self-improvement mindset.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, through doing that, and let's be honest, some people, they can't think positively because they've got something to overcome, some challenge. And that is what we're looking for. All coaches, I guess, are really saying, the world has challenges. People have challenges. We all do.
Yeah.
But there's something specific about that challenge. Now, that challenge might be grief, and you need to work through it with a grief counselor. That challenge might be, I'm stuck in some kind of a past mindset, and you want to work with a holistic healer to find out what it is that's holding you back. It might be a limiting belief about your, ability to appear on camera. I had to get over one that was all about needing to be perfect. Gosh, if my hair's not right and the background's not right, and the light's not right, then I fail. So and I'm sure people share that fear. There's lots of fear out there, and I'm not, I'm not in the life coaching game, but I've come to realize that it's a lot of the mindset to move forward and experience that gleeful life is up here.
Yeah.
And as an individual, if you can accept something's holding you back, ask for help. It's something I had to get over as well. I'm sharing lots of things, but in the last 2 years, I have learned so much that I didn't know in the previous 35.
Yeah.
I learned different things in those 35 years. I learned about business. I learned about business failure. I learned about financials and operations and people. But now to your point, I'm now learning about those internal things that I know, that then I assume you also experience, and so does the audience out there. But the difference between them and you and me, maybe, is we made a decision to do something. And that's the critical pivot point, is, can you make a decision to change something?
Yeah.
When you've made that decision, can you do it yourself, or do you need help? That's the fundamentals of it. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Linda, one of the things that's I think is so important, and I know that you speak about this in your approach in doing the business coaching processes. But what is the differentiator for you? So, as a business coach, what is your differentiator?
Yeah, I came to realize there's lots of business coaches out there. There's lots of coaches out there.
Yeah.
It took me some time to, distinguish them from what I was doing, and I think I would have been indistinguishable until now. So now I'm very clear that that my approach is what's unique. It's not the content. You know, we can all come up with the financial template, or we can all come up with some strategic plan. We've all got good coaching tools that we've been trained to utilize with our clients. We're good at asking questions. But what I bring is a unique approach, I think. I may be wrong, but the feedback I get from my clients goes along these kind of lines. They say, you know, I struck up a coaching relationship with Linda from Just Ask Linda, and I got so much more than I anticipated. What I was asking for was just a simple financial plan to get to know my numbers, but Linda challenges you in ways that you didn't expect, and with a firm but fair hand, she guides you to a place beyond where you thought you could get to. And
Yeah.
when I get feedback like that, I realize that's what I'm doing differently. It's, you know, just it's there's a term called maximizer, which comes out of Gallup Clifton Strengths Finder Profile Assessments. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
Maximizer is my number one strength. So it means I'm compelled to find and develop the best in people.
Yeah.
Things. I can't help it. I have to do that. And
Yeah.
for me, it isn't about just, well, there's a coaching session, you've got 60 minutes, here's some questions, answer the questions, fill in the forms, let's talk about that. There's so much more that we talk about, you know, during the session, and it seems to work. So I'm going to keep thing.
I really resonate with what you're saying, because I had a tricky perspective. Like from a coaching perspective, I was we were doing a bit of mind shift for a group of teachers, and the challenge that I was posed with on this weekend was I walked into a school unknowingly in an environment where one of the teachers had committed suicide, and that was last week. And I didn't know that. I just arrived. I was there to do a certain kind of mindset change. And we went through the training, and I mean, they gave me the initial sort of entry point, and I was like, okay, handled it as best you could with the circumstances. And what was noticeably significant about that moment was someone in the school said, do you know what? If we had this training a week ago, that person would still be alive. What? And you know, and I stood there and I was going, sure, that's a big, like I don't even know what that means. Like it was like, you know, so, but to your point, you know, I think the differentiator is, you know, it is your approach. Very often, there's many coaches in the world. There's many people that do what we do, right? There's so many. I have an entire channel talking about coaches. That's just coaching, you know, online. And yet, from everyone's perspective and everyone's life experience and everyone's input, they come from a position, and you kind of go, yeah, you know, the differentiating factor for me is how do I connect with this coach, and you know, what am I getting from it? And I think that too in itself is the reason why so many people, you know, we all need coaches, and coaches need coaches, and people need coaches, businesses need coaches. I think we should all just have a coach as a general rule. I think every organization should have an allocated sort of business coach, mindset coach, health coach, wellness coach. There should be a whole you know, just based on the fact, because I think we do have so much that we can bring to a moment. It's just a case of saying, well, have a one-on-one and sort of let's see
if you connect. Yeah, see if there's some connection, because we're humans after all. We're not computers. So you're looking for someone, especially in coaching, that you can trust.
Yeah.
That gets you. That understands when things are not going so well with you, that you don't want to just dive into doing the tasks, that it's someone who is flexible enough, but also firm enough to push you to do the things that you said you wanted to do. Now you must do them.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
we have like quite a complicated role to play. But I agree with you. I think there's a lot of value in coaches, but you and I might be saying that because we are coaches. And I'm a believer now. I'm a believer in what you said, that you should have many, many people, with different abilities,
Great ability, yeah.
challenging you and supporting you, and you're making sure that you've covered everything. And what came to mind now is like the example of, a high performing sports team, the rugby team or the cricket team, or cricket team's not so great, eh? The rugby team. What have they got? They have not one coach. There's not one coach, there are many coaches. And yes, they have mindset training, they have physical training, they have people who ensure that they're not putting strain on certain parts of their body, or they've got the
A variety, yeah, of
nutritional coaches, they've got and so there is, if you look like that, and that's what you want to be a high performing person, team, organization, then you cannot do it effectively alone. And Richard Branson, for example, there's lots of them, but I follow Richard Branson. I like him because I'm British, and he's British. But he is that front man. He's the guy we all know. He's the one that's quoting his quotes all over. But he did not build Virgin alone.
No.
Not a chance. Not from day one. He had somebody that was guiding him and challenging him and asking him questions and doing some of the work for him. He can't possibly have done it all by himself. And that's you need to understand that front guy, you might want to be that front person. You might want to be Elon Musk, for example.
Yeah.
He didn't do it alone. He might be the brains, he might be the charismatic leader, but they don't do it alone. And that's what business owners worldwide need to understand. You think you might be able to, but you can't.
Exactly.
Effectively.
No, I mean,
ineffectively.
That leads me to like the next point is, in terms of networking, relationship building. Like, how has networking and relationship building been the number one lead generator for you? Why is that such a recommended? I mean, you and I have had this chat, and it's the one thing I so pay attention to now when I relate to all my clients is building and cultivating relationships. But speak to us about that. Why is this important, and what should people know about it?
Yeah, exactly. I am a strong advocate of networking and relationship building. Always have been, even in my banking career. And I'll give you a quick example from there. So I had a boss, when I was in a junior position, and something was going wrong with the client, but there was a back office or an operational issue that needed to be addressed. Instead of phoning these people and just, shouting at them and saying, get it done, he said to me, come, we're going to walk to where they are. And this wasn't just around the corner. This was across the road into another big building in the middle of town, up 5 floors, on the escalators, and then walked through another big department to find this person. We went up to them and said, we're here to see you. But again, we weren't shouting. We said, we're just here to describe our problem and find a solution. And that one day, I realized that this boss of mine, did things differently, because everyone else would just pick up the phone and yell, and maybe they'd get some results, maybe they didn't. And I followed his example throughout the rest of my career, and found that even driving sometimes to a place going to see the people who were actually doing the work and speaking to them and building a relationship, getting to know what was their concern and sharing my clients' concerns with them and finding a solution together. It worked like a charm. And, so much so that, if I was to phone and you were to phone them, they would always help me first. It's because you're building this relationship. But there's so much more to it. I think in terms of this business now. So when I first started out, the only people I knew were bankers. And I went, well, how on earth am I going to reach potential coaching clients when these people are all in full-time employment in a bank? They're not my client base.
Yeah.
And so I knew no one, really, literally. And so I thought the only way this is going to work is if I start talking to people. And I'm kind of shy and introverted naturally, but needed to put myself out there. So as you know, I joined BNI, the Business Networking International Group, and
Yeah.
that organization certainly put me on the right path in terms of weekly meetings, weekly pitches for my business, one-to-ones with individuals, building those relationships, getting to know them getting to know me, and crafting a much clearer message and brand on my side, but also helping others do business. And I've expanded that into the LinkedIn world. So if I connect with people on LinkedIn, they could be fellow coaches. If they're saying something that resonates with me or interests me, I say, let's have a Zoom call, because in this day and age, they can be in Canada or, Croatia or Germany or Cape Town.
Yeah.
I can have these conversations. So what I find the value of it, not only do I find those conversations quite enjoyable every time, but every time the value is that you learn something that you didn't know. And the next value is that you've just, it's like you've got a trust bucket, this bucket, and you put a few coins in this bucket now because they have a little bit of a connection with you. And then you have a second meeting and some more coins and notes go into this bucket. And they start to say, but I know this person quite not well, but I'm starting to trust them. And then you have another conversation or you see them again and you're building your credibility, and that trust bucket gets full. Guaranteed, they're going to refer you to their friends, family, connections, clients. But without that, I'm not convinced that they will. I've got one friend in the UK that I've known for 20 years plus. She's a coach. I helped her. She helped me. She's with BNI. I'm with BNI, and she has referred 2 coaching clients to me 2 years ago and this year. And then she signed up for coaching herself as well this year. So
Yeah.
she's like a biggest advocate of mine, but we speak every week. We're on the same platforms. We engage with each other's posts. We, have each other on our shows. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
it's that's where I've in coaching in particular, I think there's huge value in spending that time to build those relationships. You will get like 1,000-fold return.
Absolutely. Yeah. Linda, so I love the fact that we've had the GLEE philosophy and the GLEE jar. I think it's definitely an option for me. I'm going to start this GLEE jar. But if you could leave us with some aspiring tips, a few tips for the aspiring entrepreneurs, for business owners out there wanting to really step it up in their business 2021, what would that be? What would you say?
Oh, okay. So very simply, know your numbers is like my number one. Please, whatever way you do it, just figure out how much money is coming in and from where, and how much is going out and to where. Just write those numbers down, take your bank statement and work it out, back of a piece of paper or Excel spreadsheet, or get somebody to help you to work it out. And if the number is negative, realize that there's something you need to do. The second would be to network. That's my tip. Just reach out, and engage and connect with people. I know it can be scary, but once you've done it once, it's much easier the second time and the third time and the fourth time, and it eventually just becomes second nature.
Yeah.
I think the third tip would be to, recognize your other challenges that you might have. Just get to a place where you recognize that you have challenges or problems and ask for help. And that doesn't have to be paid help necessarily. Just ask anybody. Just ask someone, what did they do with that particular challenge? So those would be my sort of 3 tips of the day.
That's perfect. Yeah, I think that's know your numbers. What's the second one? Know your numbers.
Network.
With network and
consider your challenges and ask for help.
Consider your challenges. Linda, thank you so much. Just ask Linda. I mean, where do we go if we want to connect with you? What's the quickest way to do that?
Well, I've got a website, so it's simply justasklinda.co.za. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn. Again, it's Linda Dent or Just Ask Linda. You'll find my page full of interesting items and posts and articles. Please engage. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Facebook, I also have a Just Ask Linda Business Coaching Facebook, so that's the name of that one. I've got a YouTube channel, but it doesn't have a name. I'll just have to give you the link.
But I mean, best would be just to go to the website, and all of this that you're saying, all the description will be in the description box below, guys. Linda, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for spending some time, and thank you for sharing the GLEE jar.
It's my absolute pleasure, and for giving me the honor of appearing on your show. I'm really excited today.
It's so much fun. Thank you, Linda, and chat to you soon. Thanks for being here.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.